What's going on? What's going on? We are back with another Matic Mondays. It's your guy Travel Matic, and if this is your first time here, we talk about all things remote work, digital nomad, transferring your skills. Talk about a little travel. We tie that all up and talk about all that for fun under the sun. So, welcome back for my people that have been waiting for us. We're back.
Yeah,
And I
well,
have my co-host right here, Tiffany.
hey everybody, happy holidays.
Tiffany Sports and Heels. Happy holiday. I think I haven't said that yet.
Oh, I haven't
So
said it all week. Well, I have.
some people have said it to me, but I was wondering that the other day. I said, when do you start saying happy holidays?
Thanksgiving, the week
After
of Thanksgiving. The week of Thanksgiving, you say happy holidays.
Okay.
That kind of blankets everything, Thanksgiving and Christmas, because they kind of run all together now. The way they market Christmas and Thanksgiving is like they one holiday.
Got you.
Or you say happy holidays with an, black folk. We had an S on the back of everything. So we say happy holidays because
Uh-huh.
it's for today and all the days, all the holidays. And for me, my birthday falls within that time period too. So, my birthday is a holiday. So yeah,
Yes. We
holiday.
missed. Did we miss your birthday? Did we miss you?
No, we
Well,
didn't because
are you sure? Let's
we
give it
did.
up for your birthday anyway. Let's let's give it up for your birthday.
Okay.
Um, I remember you was telling me it was pretty nice. Um, so it's always
Yeah.
good. Oh, we got them early in the chat today.
Oh yeah, we do.
Um, they must have took their holiday time off. They in here early.
Yeah,
We got
see everybody.
Mocha. Happy holidays. Yes. Tiffany Poodle in Portland, one of the greatest contributors to the Matic Mondays. What up, what up, what up? Sports and Heels, Eddie Mo 2.0. Mocha Bella.
Hey TNT, hey Mocha Bella.
Yes.
Our loyal watchers, viewers, listeners.
Faithfuls. Yes.
We appreciate you.
Yes, it's good to have some faithful people that come through and hit you up and all that stuff. Um, well, this is the year end. We had the
I
end
know.
of the last show.
Can you believe it's December already? Like end of December?
Time is flying.
Man.
It's definitely flying. Um, I don't know about having fun, but it is flying. And I'm having fun. I'm thankful. Um, so yeah, we're gonna talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about, the state of remote work. Um, it's a lot of herding of the people back into the office.
Yeah. Do we have to talk about that right now though? I just feel like that's like a sad subject because we know remote work is kind of like phasing out in a lot of areas, right? And this
Right.
being the year end recap and everything, I don't know. What you took a lot of trips this year in 2023. What was your favorite place to remote work this year?
I didn't remote work. Did I remote work? I don't think I
You
remote worked
did.
anything.
You spent a long year, Adrian.
No, because I was doing the other contract. They started cracking down on it. That's a thing too. They started cracking down on those VPNs.
Oh yeah.
Um,
So what was your favorite trip then in 2023?
Maybe like Cuba or um, yeah, Cuba's always a nice one. I did like Aruba and Curacao. That was that was very impressive. But I always go back with my Cuba, and we will have a guest to pop in on us to help me Scrapbook went on in great old Cuba.
Oh, good. I get to ask him some questions.
Yeah, you can ask him. Because you've been to Cuba and
In Cuba.
what was his thoughts first time?
Yeah.
I don't think I see. Then this is why I was telling you that I wanted to bring him on because I was ideally wanting to have a chat with him regarding Cuba and his experience and how he enjoyed it and what he didn't like, what he was surprised about. So I'm gonna ask him them questions around 7:30 or so. So how about yourself? Though you did work remotely.
I did work remotely this year. I think my favorite trip was Colombia, because that was a solo / group trip with a bunch of Black women from Brazil. And that was with our previous guest, Rebecca, that we've had on Matic Mondays. And it was a trip curated by her, an Afro trip, kind of a partnership. And that was definitely out of my comfort zone. It was my first time staying in a hostel. My first time in Colombia, first time in South America, first time going to a music festival outside the United States. So it was a lot of big firsts for me on that trip. Although I didn't get a chance to work there, but it was also the longest, up until that point, the longest trip that I had ever taken, being in South America for almost a month. It was very enlightening. It was transformative in how I grew to understand the diaspora abroad, and how much love there is for us in the diaspora, particularly in South America, from other Black and Brown people there, and the camaraderie that Black women seem to have globally, that even if you don't speak the same language. And it was just a really great, fantastic trip, and I am forever grateful to Rebecca, who invited me on that trip, and allowed me to experience, um, the things that I got to experience. A bunch of firsts, a bunch of will never forget moments there. So that would have to be my favorite trip.
Yeah, y'all did your thing on that one.
Man, Rebecca and Afro Trip definitely laid everything out for us, and we had a lot of time to do our own thing. So I got to hook up with Dee. Finally, another fantastic guest that we've had once, right? We've had Dee on our show once. Dee in Colombia. Shout out to Dee. Shout out to Rebecca. But yeah, I finally got to meet Dee, and she hooked us up Friday night when we were there in Cali. Her and her friends were, super nice, and I did a couple of her excursions. So if you're in the Columbia area, make sure you find Dee on Instagram or YouTube. And she's got a wealth of knowledge and resources if you're visiting Colombia, and she definitely gave me access to all of that and definitely enhanced my trip there to Colombia. So yeah, it was good. It was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is Rebecca's Instagram.
Yep. I know that she'll be doing more trips 2024. And God willing, I'll be in Brazil 2024 in November 2024. So that's something I'm working on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a group trip she just dropped last month. Okay, now this young lady does speak English, but you may see a lot of the Portuguese here. So so you may want to not be alarmed by that. She does speak English. A few of her friends speak a little English, but she won't leave you out there hanging on that.
No, not at all. And the best part about it is none of the people who participated, at least in the group that I went with, none of them participating in letting you feel left out either. Whether it was using the Google Translate app or just laughing with you or hugging you or at moments pulling you to come hang with them and just sit and be amongst them. Even though you don't speak the same language, it was always about being included. And I don't have any doubt that even though there might be a language barrier, it's not a barrier for long if you're open-minded and willing to just get outside your comfort zone and allow life to happen for you.
Yes. You also made me think about a young lady that I just met her through. I think I may have met her through D, but she asked me because she saw my information when I went this time last year to Afropunk. She's like, can you connect me with some people? Because she was going alone. And I said, well, yeah, sure. And I said, you got, I actually hooked her up with, was it Doris?
Joyce. Yep. Joyce. Hey, shout out to Joyce.
And she was just so timid, mainly because this young lady is not Afro Brazilian. She's or Afro Colombian. She's more like native. And I think I showed you her or whatever. And she messaged me again yesterday. She's like, thank you so much for putting me with Joyce. Like it just changed her life. And I really felt good for that. Because she was like, will they accept me or whatever? Will they not trip? I said, no, I'm telling you, they will take you in, especially, and it's a strong feminist movement over there. So any woman willing to hang with them, they got you.
Yes. And Joyce was a part of the group that traveled to Cali with Rebecca as well. So I can attest to that. There is a strong sense of womanhood and support and an open arms invitation to just come, experience, learn, love, laugh, and have a good time. And yeah, you definitely put her with the right people.
Yeah, I actually just lucked up and had them accept me. And it really was it wasn't, I was offered, but she didn't think I was going to come. And I popped up and I'm kicking it with these girls all night. They treated me real good though.
Yeah, and it is all night, literally. And not US all night. It is. The global all night.
The global all night.
Yeah, hold your eyes open, man. Some nights I was sitting there, I was like, Lord, I need to go to bed. Like I'm
the Latin culture, man, I love it. That's some people be like, man, why you be going to Latin? Like, if you get to experience that Latin culture and the warmness and they party and they don't have a tenth of the money we have sometimes over here in the States, but they're happy, man.
Yeah.
And it's real eye-opening on what do you feel is important in life, money or happiness,
Yeah.
So
I see you got Dee's Instagram pulled up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is her. This is an event she did. This is the guy in right here in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
He's in he's in Bonaventura, and he has like a Choco Tours, and he always been at me about coming down there. And I told him I'm definitely gonna put that on my bucket list to come down there to Cali and Bonaventura. This is my guy Carlos in Bogota. You remember Carlos that came on the show?
Yeah. Hey, Carl. Okay.
Yeah. Good dude.
Dee is amazing. She's incredible, and she know everybody. She know everybody and everything. She is the plug.
Yeah, so, I don't know who know more people, Dee or
right. If you're gonna use our names, don't be using our names and not treating my friends right.
Yeah, I don't know who know more people in that country, Dee or Rebecca.
I say D.
You say
D there full time. Oh yeah, D know from the
no,
bottom.
I'm talking about like Rebecca in Brazil. Like
oh, okay. So I don't know.
Not Rebecca in Cali, of course not. That's not her name. But Rebecca in Brazil, man, we ain't paid for nothing with Rebecca. I just had to say I'm with Rebecca. All right, give him a bottle. Damn, Rebecca got that kind of pool. Like, shoot. Okay, did not think that, but yeah, she is doing it.
Yeah, they both doing it. It was a pleasure to hang out and be both of them. Miss both of them already, and I'm looking forward to my next opportunity to link up with those two ladies and any other ladies that we've had as previous guests. We've had some fantastic guests this year, so I'm really grateful for all the people who's taken their time to kind of tell their story and come share space and time with us, drop some knowledge. We've had some wonderful guests from different parts of the globe and different experiences. So definitely grateful for all the guests that we've had in 2023.
Mm-hmm. I was trying to find that. That thing you sent me. Oh, I see it. Yeah. You took the whole video, or you downloaded the video?
No, that's how you send it when you send it from TikTok, and it's not a link.
Oh, let me see then. Gosh, I wish he would have sent me the link.
Chief Rocka in the chat room, he wants to get together Friday evening for drinks with you.
Chief Rocka in there?
Yeah.
All right, let's pull him up in a minute. Let's play this video here.
Okay.
And after this video, I'm gonna bring my guy Calvin up to talk a little bit about Cuba.
All right.
Office buildings in the United States, to some degree also around the world, because of the pandemic, people got used to staying at home, and it was actually more profitable for them to stay at home because, one, they didn't work as hard, regardless of what they tell you, and the second is they don't spend money to commute. They can make their lunch at home. They don't have to buy expensive clothes, and so their incomes are higher.
Yeah, I sent that video because that's, what's that? Who was that? Public Enemy that had that, or was that Dr. Dre and Ice Cube? When they had that intro to that song, here's what they think about you. Here's what they think about you. They kept playing it over and over again. Remember that? Mm-hmm. The intro to one of the songs. That's what they think. Us being remote workers or working from home saved us money. So we got to have more capital. We weren't buying clothes, and we weren't commuting. We weren't buying as much gas, and we weren't fixing our cars as much because we didn't have the wear and tear on our vehicles. And we weren't buying out in restaurants, buying lunches and things like that. And therefore, that's why everybody needs to come back to work, because you're not spending enough of your money anymore. You're holding on to money.
Right.
Inflation has gone up 120% on just about everything. And the whole entire existence of being a human has been commodified. So everything costs. The air we breathe, the water we drink, the electricity we have, everything costs. And everything costs a lot. So forget all of that stuff. It's the fact that you're not spending money when you're going to work is the reason why you all need to come back in the office. And by the way, regardless of the fact that you're saying you're working more and getting more work done, we don't care about what you saying that. We don't believe you anyway, because you only work hard when you're in the office, right?
Right.
So that's why your question was, is remote work over? If it is, it's because of, I would say gentlemen, but that's too kind of a word for him. It's for people like that who dehumanize us, who actually have to live day to day off of the little bit of money they try to give us these days.
Right. Let me give a shout out to Tiffany Poodle in Portland with the super sticker of $10. The biggest contributor to Travel Matic Monday.
Thank you so much.
She is always sharing of the coins. I appreciate that. And with no further talk about anything else, but let's introduce my guy, Calvin, my A1 day one, back from what, 9th grade? 10th grade?
9th grade.
9th grade.
You put up with him all this time?
I did.
Yes. And see, because he put up with me, I'd be like, hey, yo, let's go to Cuba, man. Like,
yeah, we going.
See, everybody don't get that treatment, man. Everybody don't get that treatment. He been faithful, been down since day one, man. So I'm always, and he know how to move. He know how to move too. So
that's very important.
That's very important.
Only can travel with like-minded individuals.
Yeah, yes. Agreed. Well, welcome aboard.
Thank y'all very much. Glad to be back again. It's good to see y'all good people this evening. Hope everybody's doing good.
We are.
Yes. Glad to have you back on, man. We got to get you back. I was telling you we come on tonight because I was like, it was about October. So I said, man, I want to do a recap of Cuba and and stuff. And
we haven't done any of that yet. Like, I didn't post a whole lot. I don't think you posted anything. So this is good.
Yeah, and I still don't have. I got some stuff I can post.
Okay.
I've been trying to find stuff that's not copyrighted. So most of my stuff on Instagram copyrighted, but I got a stash of stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I wanted to because we were talking about best trips of the year.
Right. Tiffany's been setting the trails ablaze. I've seen. She's been everywhere this year.
Outside.
She got all kind of sky miles right now.
Yeah. I already got my 2023 travel Q2 or Q1, Q2 already set and ready to go. So
you mean 2024?
Yeah, 2024. Lord.
Oh, you got Q1 already set?
Yeah, I do.
Oh man. Man, that's all right.
All right, that's breaking. That's breaking news right there.
I'm not revealing where I'm going now. I'm doing that.
Okay.
I'm not telling nobody where I'm going until after I come back. Except I did say I might try to go to Brazil in 2024.
Yeah, let's give a round of applause.
To Brazil to see that. That's why.
Yeah.
Round of applause for the 2024.
Round of applause. You already got it set. Okay.
I can't stand
we'll be staying in tune.
Yeah.
In tune.
Yeah.
To see where the plane takes you.
Yeah. It's gonna be a plane.
Let's get into this Cuba, man. Go ahead, set it up, man. You set the stage.
First of all, was this your first time in Cuba, right?
That was my first time in Cuba. That's probably my epitome of a bucket list visit for me.
Oh, me too. When I went 2019, it was the same thing for me.
Oh man. Like I told him, I don't think Cuba is for everybody, but for who it's for, it's amazing. It's amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
So tell us your first impressions upon landing.
I'm a very approachable person, so people seem to gravitate towards me and talk to me and tell me their personal life. Kind of like this guy to my left here on the screen. So my first impression before I even get on the plane, and where did we leave? Where we went in Florida? Was it Fort Lauderdale?
No, we went to Houston.
Houston. Okay, so IH. Met a couple who American lady and Cuban individual. And they just start talking to me, and the first thing the gentleman tells me is, "No problemos, it's safe, no worries." And I don't know this guy, and I'm like, I wasn't worried anyway because I don't really buy into what the TV tells me. But I don't know. It was like a good kickoff to the trip before I even boarded the plane. So getting there, I was very humble. I think Cuba has some beautiful views. The Airbnb that Adrian looked over the Malecon, so into the ocean. Amazing views.
Yeah.
You saw the sunset and rise every day, every morning. I mean, it was just, first impression was just, it was perfect. And then of course we took the typical cab ride from Havana in the old school 57. I don't know what all those cars are, but they're still working, right? So that was my first impression. Knocked me off my socks, and I was just looking forward to every day, and I didn't want it to end. So that was the first impression. What about you, 2019 then?
It was a solo trip, so I went by myself. It was
wow.
a dream trip.
Okay.
And it was my first international solo trip. I had
big.
been international before with groups or in a couple of situations, but not by myself.
Okay.
And I was blessed enough to have an amazing Airbnb host who really, he knew I was coming by myself, and he made sure that I didn't have to worry about anything. I actually I had 2 different experiences while in Cuba. So I stayed a couple of nights in Havana, and I also stayed a couple of nights in, what's the name of it? It fell out of my head.
Vinales.
Vinales.
Oh, okay.
And when I stayed in Vinales, I actually stayed with a family in their house with them.
Nice.
So I rented a room in their house. And I also had my own private, penthouse in Havana overlooking the Malecon. My very first night there, I booked the Airbnb experience where you kind of go night hopping, club hopping to different bars and lounges. And it wound up being a bunch of ladies from Chicago. And the lady who led us, the young girl who led us, was a girl also. So it wound up being all women on this Airbnb experience. So we really got to it's like going out with your girlfriends on a Friday night. No, I got there on a Saturday night in Cuba, right? In Havana. So it was the music. It was everything that I thought it was going to be and more. Because it was the music, it was the food, it was the beautiful people, you know what I mean? Yeah. It was the sexy dancing, it was the live music that I love live music. So it was live music. We went to this one spot where it was a rooftop, and it was like a 30-piece all Cuban male band, and everybody in the band fine. Like it was and everybody's giving you drinks and dancing with you, and everybody's just kind of having a good time, having fun, and it's just a lot of love. And after that, I kind of walked along the Malecon late at night, and it was just the perfect, from there, it just kept escalating, kept getting better and better and better and better. So Cuba will always be my favorite. Havana will always be my favorite city. It will always be my favorite city.
It's definitely a revisit for me. I have to go back.
Yeah.
It's definitely a repeatable for me. Yeah.
What was your favorite thing about Cuba?
My favorite thing is the people. So we went to the Callejon de Jamel, live band again, and that energy, man, to be amongst the people, and again, what we see on TV and what they portray. As opposed to what the reality is. So to be amongst that group of people who may not have a third of what you have on a daily basis, to see the smiles and to feel that energy coming from them, man, it was electric. And in this clip that he's showing, it had to be 100 plus, I don't know, degrees out there. But we could care less. That music was just going through your soul.
Oh yeah.
The food was amazing. And I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It's unexplainable almost to an extent. It was that much fun. And we just stayed out there, man. I don't know how long we were out there, but we were out there for quite a bit.
They had a little technical difficulty, so
yeah, that's what it was.
It was supposed to start at 12. Okay, Callejon de Jamel, to give a little context behind it. It's Callejon means alley. And I think it's on Hamel Street or something like that. But the actual place is like an indoor-outdoor exhibit, and they do Roomba on Sundays at 12. Free, everybody come as they are. And they usually play from about 12 to 4. but they had technical difficulties, so it didn't start till 4, and then we just stayed out there about to like 6 something because it was already hot out there. And I'll play a little bit of what just to get the feel of it. The bands that the bands that play salsa, rumba, they may have a person who may do certain rituals of the Yoruba, because they are they practice. A lot of people in Cuba practice Santeria. So Santeria is a form of Yoruba African religion that they kept even from after slavery. So that's Callejon de Mel, and I'm gonna play this.
Did you get this guy's contact? I think you got his contact.
Yeah.
Is there a moment that sticks out that both of you shared?
It's a lot of it's a lot. I mean, this the Afro Cubano tour, going to the lady's house, actually cooking Afro Cubano dishes or African dishes, if you will. The drums, the display that they have for us, cooking, drinking, talking, laughing. I don't know. That it's like a 1A, 1B for me, because see, I'm a huge cigar fan. I might be a snob of a cigar fan. And so to visit the Hotel de Nacional has been a lot. It's like the epitome of Cuban cigars outside of the actual farm. So where you were at in Vinales, or the other two that exist where they pull all the Cuban tobacco, I've always wanted to go there. So to stand on that soil was different.
Yeah.
So between the two, and being exposed to the Afro-Cubano history, the stuff that we don't get taught here in America, the religious stuff, the food, actually eating the food. He has some more videos that you got to see where I'm actually videoing him. He's cooking. I don't know. I don't really know if I got a best time, Tiffany. It was so much fun. Like, I just had fun. So I don't know.
Yeah. I have that on my SD card. I don't have that to show on here, but I'm gonna show us in Hotel Nacional.
Okay. Oh man, look at that.
How many boxes of cigars did you bring back?
92.
You said 92.
Just one.
Just one?
It's one. Prices. So the market is 3 times higher than what it used to be. And so the box that I just picked up about 10 years ago, I could have gotten that box for about $200. That same box is about $600 now.
Wow.
Yeah, so stuff that's considered regular production cigars are selling for 3 times as much. And it's not cheap. It's not cheap. And that's home. That's there.
I didn't have a cigar. I didn't have a cigar in Cuba until I got to Vinales.
So that's what you want to do.
So I took the tour where you go to, tobacco farm.
So you want the ones with age on them.
Yeah.
And
the Cuban better.
The first cigar he gave it to us the way Cubans smoke cigars, which is he dipped it, the tip that goes in your mouth,
in the honey.
He dipped it in honey.
Right.
So that was my first cigar ever.
Right.
I made sure that I never had a cigar because I said I only want to have a Cuban cigar in Cuba. I don't want this American version.
Right.
And let me tell you something.
What'd you think? What'd you think about it?
Oh my goodness. First of all, I got about 18 videos in me at Cuba smoking cigars.
Okay.
Including the one on the farm that I got a bunch of videos doing that there. But it was so good. that way that I don't like cigars without it that way. I don't like it without it.
Right.
It's
Totally
too
different.
harsh. It's too harsh.
Yeah.
But without it, it was smooth. And then we had the brown rum to go with it. So the brown rum, the cigar dipped in honey. That's kiss, man. Yeah. When I got back to Havana, it was probably almost sunset, and it started to rain. So you couldn't really walk. You could walk if you want to. I don't walk in the rain. Okay. And so I had a balcony on my my room, and the balcony was covered. I sat on the balcony, listened to music because I had my little radio, smoked a cigar, and drank that rum with that honey on the honey.
Perfect.
You couldn't tell me, and overlooking the Malecon.
Right.
I was like, this is my life right now. I'm literally doing something that I have always dreamed of doing, and it feels so crazy that's that simple thing of just sitting on that balcony, overlooking the Malecon, having a cigar, drinking Cuban rum, listening to music, how much of an impact that had on me for the rest of my travels. So you see my travels, Calvin and Adrian, y'all seen me continuously add longer and bigger trips, and that's why, because that moment in Cuba made me realize that I got a lot more I want to do.
Right. I think we did the same. So I would get up, and I'm an early riser, so I get up. It's my military background, but I would do the same. So it was a book, it was something to drink, and it was a cigar. But it's just different. You know, nobody produces tobacco like Cuba in the world.
Yeah.
Climate, it's the humidity, it's that heat.
And it's clean. They don't use pesticides and all that other stuff. Their farming methods are just so different.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So when you smoke Cuban tobacco, a lot of people who smoke cigars, they turn their nose up to Cuban tobacco because for one, they either can't get it, it's too expensive, or they've just been brainwashed. But I don't, Americans typically like strength associated with tobacco and cigars. And that's not what Cuban tobacco is.
Yeah.
It's not about strength at all. So when they say, oh, I like full body, medium to full, or full body, just straight full body cigars, that's not Cuban tobacco. And I don't like having a headache after I smoke a cigar. I like
and I like flavor, and theirs have a flavor that
totally
is very inviting. It's not harsh. It's not,
right.
I never had it in my hair where I had to go home and spray my hair down. It wasn't like that. It wasn't that kind of experience.
And it's good you mentioned the rum too. So we did the Havana Club tour as well. I think he had like some images up just now. He's scrolling through. So again, the history of Cuba is the sugarcane. So that Havana Club rum and the sugarcane itself is just infamous with Cuba and how they evolved as far as an economic powerhouse at the time before you allow some other folks to come in and kind of take over and try to take over the industry. So we'll just leave that like it is. But that was a great tour right here. And being able to experience that, we saw some stuff that doesn't cost as much, and we saw some stuff that costs $400 or $500 for a bottle. But this was nice.
Now, how many days were you guys there? Because I'm looking. I've counted at least 3 tours right now. So how many days were you guys there?
We ain't sleep.
6 days, maybe.
Yeah, like 6 days, but shit, we ain't sleep most of the time.
Because
we did this. The rum, we did Callejon de Jamel, we did a few clubs at night. We did
was amazing.
Yeah, Fabrica de Arte. We did Hotel Nacional. We did we did the Afro experience. You remember I just had it here. Where's she at? What was her name? Nicole?
I can't remember.
There we go.
Yeah, this.
And we was doing the Macarena.
We had a good conversation.
Well, you're very strong man, very good looking. He represents the rain too, so he's like a womanizer too. He has no commitment with girls. Someday
I love how all their excursions are.
So between him
in
and
their
his
homes or in their,
there will be a lot of
you know what I mean?
That we check about their relationships. So he's the one, the top one, right there, Shango. And we have here Olokun. He's the one who lives in the deepest part of the sea. So here will be Yemaya, and in the deepest part will be Olokun. He represents internal problems. When you have, for example, any.
So what restaurants did you guys visit while you were there?
We were literally within walking distance. We just had a couple of spots on the Malecon. We probably went to that one breakfast spot like 3 or 4 times because it was just easy and the food was good. But I think we just kind of went around to various spots. I don't remember any names of the ones we went to, honestly.
Can you salsa dance? Did you learn salsa while you were there?
I'm black. I can do all them dances.
Say it.
My
The
blood,
electric slide is not salsa dancing.
I hear you.
The Tamiya dance is not salsa dancing. Just because you can do that.
I didn't have any complaints. Nah, I'm not going to say I can salsa with the best of them, but it was something. This was amazing too. This outdoor concert.
Was this in July?
August.
August.
This was.
That wasn't. Was it a reggaeton festival?
No, this was because they have carnival. They have carnival in August, all of August on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I think because of budget, they couldn't have a full-fledged carnival, which I do have the carnival from 2020, maybe, no, 2019. I have the carnival for Havana. But this year when we went, they just in such an economic crunch that they just couldn't afford it. But they managed to put together a little party on the Malecon, and it was a scene. It pretty much this is just how Carnival is. Other than they have floats going down the Parkway, and it starts at like 8, so it goes from like 8 to like 2 in the morning. And
we were out there pretty late. We were out there for a good bit.
There was a festival going on when I was there too. That was till like 3 o'clock in the morning, and it was in the same location. That's why I asked, because like, wait a minute.
Right. But I think that's right on the backside of Hotel de Nacional, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Between the Malecon and the hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a festival there when I was there too.
Yeah, these guys were like, somebody had the one bottle and they were just passing it around, sharing it. You know, it wasn't no big guys and little U's. It was just everybody just having a good time.
Yeah. And the Cuban people are so like full of passion.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the thing that stood out to me too, and he brought it to my attention. So again, like I said, I never was concerned about any type of security. Like, I never felt like safety was a concern for me at all. Not to sound ignorant or whatever about my surroundings, but it just felt comfortable and relaxing to me. We were walking down the street, at 10, 11 o'clock at night, and it was cool. But when we were at this concert, Adrian says, he's like, hey, you notice those security guards, they don't carry firearms. And so I was like, no, I didn't look at that. So I started looking at them, and literally they had on like a belt, like this utility belt, but none of them carry a firearm, no guns at all. Mm-hmm. I mean, imagine that here where we live at. Everybody got guns. That there's people who have them and shouldn't have them, but not one officer even had a firearm. Like that stood out to me a lot.
I find that common in a lot of countries. They don't need to use firearms. I think we have some questions for our guests and for us in the chat room regarding Cuba.
What we got?
All right. Where was I at last? All right. Tiffany put on important with the super sticker. I had Chief want to do the drinks. I got to see if I'm gonna have my daughter or not. She may be over here the whole week. But I'll hit you up, Chief. Questions.
It's down a little further.
Okay, I love working from home. I can keep my home clean. Donna is ready at a decent time. I can run errands during lunch, grocery shopping, bank. Yep. All of that. And they're trying to put a halt to all of that.
Mhm.
Oh, Chief Rocker with the super sticker $9.99. I appreciate you. Yes. PNP from the two is a lifestyle that works. Yep. All right. She says, I just live vicariously. Oh, she used that big word on me. Vicariously. Through the sports and heels. Don't care for people. And I think that's important when traveling. I can take the poverty. Kids dressed like Winnie the Pooh, shirts with no bottom. I can't take the poverty. You know what? And a lot of times, those kids or those countries, they don't know they're in poverty because they don't see. They don't see nothing but
They're richer than we are. That's all I'm gonna say. Because their value is not on material things. They're way richer than we're the ones living in poverty.
Oh yes.
Just because we got the dollar bill don't mean we not living in poverty.
Them people be looking happy, boy. I'm telling you.
They happy from inside out. So their souls are happy.
Yes. Okay, and PNP, the more I travel, the more I am exposed to. It gives me a perspective to help me appreciate humanity for being humans and not what they don't have. I encourage all to visit outside their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Okay. Comfort zone. Yeah, I see it. I think it is awesome for you all to live it up. Takes a special kind of spirit to embark on these trips, meeting new people, seeing new places, etc. I commend you all for that.
Expound on that, especially young ladies. Tiffany doing the solo trip, that's big. You got a lot of people who won't experience certain things in life because they don't have somebody to go with. I take my hat off to women who, not to be sexist at all, but to females who are bold enough to take those types of steps and say, hey, I'm gonna go and see for myself and enjoy life while I have it. I think a lot of us allow things to pass us by and not take advantage of what we've been afforded.
Yeah, and it took me. I've been traveling solo for a long time domestically. That was my first international. But my philosophy has always been, one monkey don't stop no show. and I only get one life, and I don't want to live it on looking at my phone screen, watching other people do the stuff that I would really like to do, but I don't have nobody to go with. Like,
right.
Or
did you have apprehensions prior to? Before you just started wanting to travel out of the country, or no?
No, my only apprehension was I'm because I'm neurodivergent, I'm ADD, and so I have control issues. So I like to know what's going to happen, and the less anxiety I experience, the more fun I'm going to have.
Okay.
So those things like safety and what to expect are kind of things I have to help myself to get over some of those hurdles, right? But never being scared to travel outside the country. It really was just about, first of all, Cuba wasn't open. And then when it was open, I wasn't in a position to be able to travel in that circumstances. Okay. 2019, I literally got an alert from Google Flights that there was a round trip ticket that left from Atlanta. Was it left from Atlanta or connecting in Atlanta for $200 round trip?
Wow.
And I booked it without even having a place to go.
Yeah, you got to take that.
Stay. It was $200, and I knew I was never, ever, 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 ever going to see a flight deal that goes out of Atlanta, that was connected in Atlanta, and allowed me to, Delta Airlines just allowed me to be able to take that trip by myself and be prepared and all the things I would want to experience. So I booked it, and then the first person I reached out to was Jay Clyde, who's been on our show. And then I hooked up with Adrian. Okay. And that's how me and Adrian became friends.
Off this trip? Because of that
trip? I was like,
I never
just came back from Cuba. I need to know everything that you know. Okay. Jay Clyde had been going. And that's how our friendship just came from there, because those brothers really I went on YouTube to try to get some information about, what's to do in Cuba and where to stay. And it was all these mongering videos. So I needed some brothers I could trust who wasn't going to steer me in the wrong direction. And they really kind of gave me the rundown, and which gave me the confidence to play, okay, I can definitely plan my dream trip. And that's exactly what happened.
You know what? And you made me think about, I don't know if you was telling me you was going to Vinales and Varadero in the same day or something.
No, the same week.
Oh,
Was it the same week? Okay.
Yeah, it was the same week. I was going to do all 3 cities in the same week. And he was like, oh, no.
that's a lot.
You're going to have to pick
that's even still
one or
tight.
the other.
Because geographically, she didn't understand where these places were at. They're on like 2 opposite ends of the island. And you're going to spend at least
2
4
days.
or 5 hours with 2 hours of Vinales and back to Havana.
Yeah.
And then 2 hours to Varadero, which is one of the prettiest beaches in Cuba. Actually, in the Caribbean, it's really nice. It's one of those you do a day trip because it's not really. I mean, it's kind of far. It's kind of far to get up at 5 in the morning and drive.
And it's more touristy. And that's really what changed my mind. You told me that. You was like, it's more touristy. Vinales is more country. And I didn't want to go to Cuba. I've been to the Caribbean. I've been out of the country at that point to different places, Jamaica. And, I've done the whole beach vacation thing. So I wasn't really looking for that in Cuba. I really wanted to experience the people. And I knew I would be able to do that more in Vinales after talking with, Adrian and Jay Clyde about what I was trying to do. And that helped me make my decision. I wanted a beach day. And once I realized I could have that beach day in Havana still, I was cool.
Yeah. We were supposed to go to the beach, but we was, like I said, we was burning the candle.
Worn out, man. We were worn out.
Burning the candle at both. I couldn't do it like I did the other times I went to Cuba where I did all that. But this time I was like, woo.
I'll tell you something that was small but still fun though. The Coco taxis. That was nice. Like just taking a little cart, as opposed to riding in a regular car. That was something different, and that was cool to try out, man. That was a good experience as well.
Yeah, I got that Coco taxi ride, and it's more economical. I mean, on a hot day, it's not the best, but it's a fun little thing to look at the different forms of transportation they have. Gosh, I'm trying to see if I can, because we rode that thing a couple of times.
Yeah.
While you're looking for that video, I'm going to read Poodle Importance question so we don't miss it within our time. Her question was, did either of y'all experience any racism or colorism in Cuba?
No, I didn't.
No, because it's so funny to mention that my first time in Cuba, 2018, I was so shocked that it looked like Atlanta. It was that many black and brown people out there. Like, I'm talking about black like me. People thought I was Cuban until I spoke. And that's just the media, the propaganda that is put out there that all Latins look like J-Lo and I'm talking about
Sofia Vergara.
These people black in Cuba, and I'm like, yo, this is. I'm looking at people like, and that's what really motivated me to learn Spanish and get to know, because I really wanted to talk to some of these people, and I was like, they was looking at me like, you don't speak Spanish? I'm like, nah. And they like, I thought you was Cuban or whatever. I'm like, nah. And it was like, whoa, like, so it's a lot. There's, the one thing about Fidel Castro too, which this is what I heard, that he wanted to eliminate that racial biasness among that. He wanted to say we are all Cubans. We are, whether we light as the sand or we dark as night or whatever, that we are all Cubans. And he really pushed that. There's one thing I did like about Fidel, that he wanted to push that. Do you have certain stereotypes still? Of course you do, but they really are. Cuban is like, we are all Cubans, so I love that about it.
Yeah, I didn't experience any colorism. I mean, I had people of all skin tones, interacting with me with no problem. So, and then one of the people who actually showed me around Cuba, like on the bus and stuff like that, was darker than Adrian. So, when I had conversations with Cubans there that live there, PNP, they did talk about how it's harder to get jobs when you're a darker Cuban, especially in hotels and more touristy areas, because they cater to the U.S. is not really a tourist. Their target market when it comes to tourism. They're targeted at Europeans and Canadians. Yeah. So because of that, they do tend to hire the more fair-skinned, commercial-looking Cubans to work in those spaces. So they did express that is an issue. But as far as being a tourist, I don't think any of us experience any of that on our end, because they know we got something that our color can't hide, and that's that green dollar bill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's one thing they don't care nothing about, your color or your sex or your sexual orientation, all that stuff that people care about. They don't care about none of that when you got that green dollar in your pocket and they know you got it. So
yeah, back to those taxis. Taxis making a lot of money because depending upon the time of day, where you're going and where you're trying, like where you're picking up from, where you're going, they those prices vary. So they take advantage of your American dollar. I will say that.
Yeah, it's changed a lot too. In the since, like, when I first came to Cuba, they never really wanted your dollar, because they couldn't use your money. Well, I'm sorry, let me back up. They could not, at one time, they could not use American dollars in Cuba, even on the market of trading, because, and this was told to me, whatever, but when, like, I go to Delta Community Credit Union, which is mine, I can get euros from them because the main office or the headquarters may have a euro account. They have a peso account. I get peso. So they have relationships with every country, and Cuba's the same way too, but because of the embargo, they really don't have a relationship with America to have a depository of American dollars to exchange back and forth. So in order to do that, to receive American dollars, they have to convert it 2 times. So that's why they used to tax you only on American dollars. They would tax you 13% instead of 3%. They would tax you an extra 10% because of the stuff they had to do in the black market, which they didn't want to eat that cost. So you gonna eat that cost. Mm-hmm. So it's stuff like that that was before. But once I realized now, it's like that's all they want now because of how the world has changed on its head and inflation. And they went to one peso. One currency. At that time they had 2 currencies. They had the CUP and the CUC. Yep. They got rid of the CUC and they kept the CUP, which is a convertible peso. And so with that, that's all they have, but it's decreasing in value because of inflation. So to protect themselves from inflation, they need that dollar now. And that's what I learned. I learned something new every time I'm going to Cuba. Because this guy, I'm like, y'all want to take your own peso? Even Calvin had what you had, like $100 in pesos, and it was.
I had more than that. I had a lot when we went to the hotel, because I'm like, hey, I'm gonna get a cigar that I know if I try to buy it on the aftermarket, it's gonna cost me $200 or $300 for one cigar.
Right. So
I'm gonna take advantage of this opportunity. And so I go in there with the Cuban pesos, and they said, no, I'm sorry, we don't accept it. And I said, you got to be kidding me, right? Like, you don't accept your own money in this location. She said, no, I need American dollars only. So yeah, that was eye-opening to say the least.
Yeah, so it has definitely changed. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation,
because a lot of people was talking about certain things I've seen recently, and I'm like, y'all didn't really tell them all. Like, they don't understand the context behind this money and the history behind the CUP and the CUC and why it's like that. Some will take it, but that's, if you scratch your head, like, why won't they take their own peso? It's because they're trying to protect themselves against inflation. Because I can always take that dollar and get a dollar for a dollar.
Right.
But if I take the equivalent of $1, which maybe was it 200 pesos or whatever,
something like that, it changed drastically.
Yeah, and it may drop 30, 40 pesos in the next day. It may be like 190. You know,
I think I exchanged 400 US, and I believe our Airbnb host we called someone, they came. I think she gave us either 84 or 88,000 Cuban pesos for 400 US. We thought we were in a rap video. We had money stacked this high.
I know.
It was different to see that much money be exchanged for $400.
Yeah, here you go, right here. I got it.
You the Kodak Black or whoever that was moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I got bricks.
It was
all
more
white.
than that. It was more than that though. Like, yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
You're cool.
This is definitely one of those. So, something else that was interesting. I think we were walking down in Havana. Somehow we got on, poultry, just food imports, and the fact that the belief is that the United States doesn't deal with Cuba at all in any regard, right? Oh, we don't deal with you guys, blah blah blah. But that's not true. So the United States deals with surrounding countries on a credit. Like, hey, you want X, we'll give it to you in a credit form. You pay us back. Well, they deal with everybody but Cuba on a credit. They deal with Cuba strictly money up front. And so right on cue, as we're walking down Old Havana, this little moped cart with a little storage thing on the back of it, bin on the back of it. So surprisingly, Cuba gets the majority of their poultry, their chicken, from the United States. Mm-hmm. And so this guy is coming down the street with like boxes and boxes of Tyson chicken.
I'm like, yo, look.
Right, it was right on cue. And I think I looked it up, and don't kill me here, but whatever the absurd number was, but Cuba must have purchased over $100 million, I believe, worth in money in US dollars of Tyson chicken, or just chicken in general, from the United States. And that's something you're never going to see that on CNN, MSNBC, or any other news outlet for that matter. So don't believe everything we hear and see without doing your own research.
That's a good one right there, and a great segue to Mocha Bella's question. And she lives in Miami, so she definitely has a lot of context to it. The way you all describe Cuba is very different from how the Cubans describe it here in Miami. I guess you have to go there for yourself.
And I used to live in Miami too, so I know what Mocha's talking about. And Mocha, what I'm going to tell you, the Cubans in Miami, I don't mean to offend nobody, but the Cubans that are in Miami are the white Cubans. And so they have aligned themselves with the American value system and what American values value, if that makes sense, right? And they see Cuba differently because they've aligned themselves with what American value, which is money, power, opportunity, and their proximity to whiteness, where the Cubans that remain in Cuba are not in a position to be able to leave Cuba. Let's be real. They're not in a position to leave. So of course, the people who live in Miami are going to describe it that way because they're in a place of privilege and were able to leave, or their families were able to leave and come to the United States to live, right? You got to remember, this is at a time when the United States had granted asylum to Cubans. At the same time, other nationalities were coming under the same circumstances. Haitians, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, like all of that was happening all at the same time. And so there was a special things set aside for Cubans. And so, of course, Cubans who are living in Miami are going to describe it as a different experience. And another thing that Adrian pointed out that a lot of people don't notice is that Cuba is a country of Black and brown people. So again, there's going to be some, connotations that go along with that description. But you can't negate the history of turmoil that country has had. And you can't ignore what happened during the revolution and what's still happening now with the power structure there and how wealth is distributed. But that problem is happening globally. Don't let people think that problem is strictly a Cuban problem or that problem is strictly a brown country problem. That problem is a global problem when it comes to wealth and power and the distribution to those people who are living there. So I'd say, yes, you do have to visit it for yourself. People who, Mocha, I think you're Jamaican. How do Jamaicans describe living in Jamaica? They consider that a third world country and, they love their country. There's things they love about it, but they don't describe it in a way sometimes that you would if you were living in the U.S. So I think it's just a matter of your place of privilege, your economic views, your political views, your sociological views, all of those things factor in how you view your home country.
Yes.
Good point.
The real, not to say that what she just said, to add on, when these people left back in the 50s and 60s, they left their citizenship and they left their homes to the Cuban government. They are still in litigation about their homes and property that's in Cuba that has been taken by the Cuban government, because you say, hey, you want to leave? This all ours. And so this has been going on for 20, 30 years, being held in litigation for these people to receive their property back because the Cuban government took it once they left, especially when they went to the United States. I'm not sure if because they went to other places, but the ones so they have an axe to grind because of that, and they know that white political offices have this issue with Cuba, so they jump on with it because it's just like, yeah, we got an issue too, so we're gonna jump on with it. And that's why they vote the way they vote, because we all in the same game. We trying to put this pressure on the government, but it actually is putting pressure on the people, the locals, which the older Cuban people can't see that, and I hate that they cannot see that, because you're putting stress on the government. Them guys still gonna smoke the best cigars. Them guys still gonna eat beef when other people can't eat beef in Cuba. Locals cannot eat beef in Cuba.
Yep.
So the government's still gonna get theirs.
Yep.
So it's a sad thing, and I would hope that they get themselves together.
Two different viewpoints. So the Airbnb host, he was just kind of like a part-time manager. I think he said the actual owner of the location also worked in like Germany or somewhere like that. And so when she's out of town, he manages. But I think he said he was either in school for dentistry or he was an actual dentist. And so he aspired to leave Cuba. So because he's limited, he can only go so far, is what he was describing. And I understood that. So when I talk to people here in Miami that's from Cuba, they say things differently. I kind of get that vibe. I understand what she's alluding to or what she's saying, because if the Cuban citizen is being honest, not all of them, and it depends on age group, I think, as well, and their experiences thus far in life while living there. I think some of them do aspire, not that the country is the worst country to live in, but if I'm being held back in anything I want to aspire to be as a young adult, and I can't get it here, then that's going to be a natural desire to go somewhere else where I may be able to obtain those things that I want to achieve in life as far as the success ladder is concerned. Then when you flip that, the young lady who did the tour for the Afro Cubano tour, she expressed immense pride in this country. She really connected with the country, with her history, with the Africans that were brought there, and so you saw that coming pouring out through her pores to us as she talked about her experience and then things that she's seen and going through in her family there. So I think it just depends on who you talk to, and their experiences thus far in life while they've been a Cuban citizen. That's what I would say. Because nothing's always going to be good. There's people that live here that want to leave here.
I was going to say, you could copy and paste this exact question and put any country, any two countries in that. Instead of Cubans, it could be anywhere. You know, it could be Americans living in wherever. So I think it's important to understand. That's my whole point. Is it kind of depends on all of these factors that, and it's going to be a personal, individual reasons why, you want to leave, and why you talk that way. You do have to visit places for yourself, though, Mocha. You can respect their opinions about what they feel about their country and their experiences with their country, but also go and visit that country and find out a little bit of other people's perspectives of living there.
Yes, we got it, Chief. We got it.
Hey, Chief also posted a question, Adrian, and said, hey, I need to get some of those cigars. So back to what Tiffany said also in conjunction with his question. He says, hey, how many boxes did you bring back? So let's talk about the boxes, right? So in the beginning, when me and Adrian started talking about this trip, I say, hey, I'm going to probably take $1,000 to get some cigars, right, to bring back. Who knows when I'm going to get this opportunity again? But as the market went crazy, I said, nah, I'm not going to do that. Like, I know how to get Cuban cigars, and I just can't pay those absurd prices anymore. And to be honest, China is the reason why the market is what it is. So
I was
if
about
you know
to say,
about that stuff, then you know about it. But China is the reason why the market is, and China works hand in hand with the government. Habano SA, that's where this stuff comes from, the influx. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. So anyway, I deduced that to, I'm just going to smoke some of the best cigars that I can get my hands on while I'm there. And I'll take home one box or so. So I did that. And I bought the one box, aged box. I think it was some Monte Cristo number 2s. It's actually my favorite cigar. That's probably the most highest selling, grossing Cuban cigar ever in the history of cigars as well. But I get to the airport in Havana. They pull my bag. And they say, yeah, they flagged me. They said, pull him. So the lady pulls out. She said, do you have cigars, sir? I said, I do. She said, she takes it out. And she's like, that's all you got? I said, that's all I got. She said, okay, no problem. You put it back in my bag. We get out of there. We leave. When I get to customs, they say, hey, do you have anything to declare? Any cigars? I said, well, yeah, I do have cigars. He's like, got to go this way, guy. I was like, huh? So Adrian's looking at me like, like, what happened? Now, I'd asked this question like 3 or 4 times. It is my fault. I should have did my research. I'm like, hey, is it legal for us to bring them back still? And I'm still under the impression that it is, because when Barack is in office, he was really pushing to make everything legal, free travel, no visa, whatever. That was the goal. That was the agenda. Some of those things got accomplished, but not everything. But I was not aware that Mr. 45 made some drastic changes to U.S. citizens traveling to Cuba. So anyway, I go downstairs. They tell me to go around a corner, downstairs again. And I'm like, man, these guys are going to confiscate my cigar. So I get to this gentleman. He says, how you doing, Mr. Lyles? I said, I was doing good before I met you. He said, you got cigars? I said, I got 12 cigars in my bag. He said, okay, man, step over here with me. He said, yeah, you can't have them. He said, Donald Trump reversed that law, and it's no longer legal for American citizens to bring anything of Cuban, cigars or rum, things like that. You can't bring it back.
Wait, you can't bring the rum back?
He said that I couldn't bring the rum too. I don't know if that's true, but I know I couldn't bring the cigars. So the guy takes me to this huge trash can. And of course, I won't say his name because I need him to keep his job. But he says, sir, I'm going to turn my back while you discard of all your cigars. Now, I'm from a place where I pick up all things. I said, you going to do what? He said, I'm going to turn my back. You make sure you take care of your business. I said, I'm going to do that. So I took out one cigar. I threw it in the trash. I put the rest of the stuff in my bag. And I left, and I came home with that box. So to the gentleman who asked the question about the cigars, if you go there, you cannot bring them back legally. and you're taking a chance on getting a good a nice, friendly customs agent who's actually going to let you bring those home, as opposed to saying, "I'm sorry, you got to throw them in the trash. You just wasted all your money."
Bet.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Biden hadn't changed any law in regard to cigars either. So whatever Donald Trump put in place is still in place.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, but he sleeps somewhere. That's what it is.
If that's him.
Tiffany Portland said some women and men for that matter won't even go out to dine by themselves or go to the movies by themselves or go to the comedy show by themselves. So big ups Sports and Heels.
Thank you, PMP. I do all of that. I take myself out to eat weekly, every Tuesday. I go to eat at my favorite pho restaurant. Man, y'all need to start living y'all life. Don't be waiting on people, ladies. Yeah, you ain't got no man. That is, first of all, it's a great time to meet somebody is when you out doing stuff by yourself. I'm just saying, if that's what you're into. But everybody don't like what you like. Everybody don't like the movies you like. Everybody don't like to go when you like to go. Everybody don't like to eat what you eat. I go because nobody eat what I eat sometimes. So I go by myself. It's my favorite place, my favorite restaurant. Maybe everybody's not available to go to a comedy show. Comedy shows are a lot of fun by yourself. A lot of things are fun by yourself, and you meet people. You sit at the bar. You don't have to sit at the restaurant at the table by yourself. Sit at the bar. You'd be surprised. I've never sat at the bar and not met somebody unless I don't feel like it, and I got that I don't feel like it look on my face.
Mm-hmm. Let me
Y'all
read
start taking yourself out.
Let me read Tiffany Portland's comment here. Okay, what happens if a Cuban became American, then goes and visit Cuba? Will they be made to stay? No, they're American now.
As long as you got the U.S. passport, they ain't gonna bother you.
Right.
Unless you're a wanted individual, which you're not going back to Cuba if you want it.
I sure
You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's probably the only way you'll be still there. They have to stay. But let me show because I'm feeling like some people don't understand that there are really nice,
very nice
places to stay in Cuba. This place was on the Malecon. It was in a neighborhood called Vedado, Vedado, Vedado. It's like you got Centro, you got Old Havana, you got Vedado, you got Miramar, you have some other. That's like the city of Havana. So this is in Vedado, right on the Malecon, like like a street away from the Malecon. And
that's where I stay too. I mean, not the same unit or apartment, but yeah, same area.
All nice appliances.
Right.
And how much did y'all pay per night? I think that's an important detail.
I think the total trip was less than $600.
It was like six something. Yeah. 6 something. Yeah.
2 bedroom, 3 bedroom.
2
bedroom. It had stock
fridge,
which we actually used.
Yes, we did. Very nice.
Yes,
that
new
nice.
stuff. The bedrooms. This is one of the bedrooms. I think this was my bedroom.
Because it was my first trip, he gave me the master. He's so nice, such a nice guy.
Air conditioning and everything.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's newly renovated.
I think it was.
Nice little.
Did you guys have a balcony on yours?
We did.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same building.
Are you serious?
That's the same building I stayed in. I'm serious. I recognize the patio anywhere.
Okay.
I'm looking at the kitchen because the kitchen setup and the bedroom setup is very similar to the unit I stayed. That's the same place, the same building that I stayed in. Because I have pictures and videos of mine too, and it's the same setup.
Cool.
You said a lady owned yours?
Yeah, it's a lady who owns it.
But the guy, what was the guy's name? Who?
Victor? Was it Victor?
Victor. That's the same guy.
I think it was Victor.
That's the same guy.
Yeah, I was on that balcony every morning.
Me too.
Yeah.
Wow, it's the same place.
Yeah, it was perfect.
So that
I
means
think-
you were in the same building my friend lives. She lives in that building.
Oh wow.
She's from Cuba. Her husband works in Israel, I think.
All right, this is his room.
That bathroom was very nice.
Mm-hmm.
That is wild. That is the same building. They must have renovated.
It's down bottom left. Yeah, there you go. Now, I'm not the tub guy, so I just use a shower, but I'm pretty sure people who are into that, they would have enjoyed
They
that.
definitely renovated because mine didn't even have a tub. It was a tub shower combo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, a couple of things. When you guys went to Cuba, could you still not flush toilets and toilet paper and all?
Yeah, you still don't do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why we said Cuba is not for everybody, guys.
Mexico too. Parts of Mexico as well. They'll tell you the same
Well,
thing too.
most of the world is like that, actually.
Yeah, when you use the restroom in Cuba, guys, you cannot flush your toilet paper. You actually throw it in the trash.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay. That was cool. We over time. I appreciate everyone. Let me see.
Oh, Miss P's going to Cuba.
I'm glad I caught this live. I'm going to Cuba in March. I have to tell my friends they will not be getting cigars when I turn.
There you go. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
unless something changes between now and March. I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't take that chance.
Yeah, Miss
Yeah.
P, make sure you book some of the Afro-Cuban experiences, whether it's a nighttime, daytime, whether it's cooking. They have a variety of different experiences. You can find them on Airbnb experience, or sometimes they have them on Violator. But make sure it says Afro-Cuban experience. You will not regret it. Not only do you get great guides that have a lot of history, a lot of knowledge, but they're very personable, and they just have fantastically curated experiences. So you do not want to miss out on doing something like that. And definitely see if you guys can get your hands on the classic car. Even if you just rent it for the day. I had mine for the entire week at my disposal.
Wow.
So anytime I needed to use a car, I had a car available to me, and the same one, same driver, that kind of stuff. If you can have the little extra funds, I'm saying that because you're going with friends. It's worth not having to figure out who's riding what car and how we gonna get there and where they at. It's helpful if you can stick to one driver for your entire trip. That way, if you need anything, you also have that as a resource. And be extra kind to your host, your Airbnb host. They will give you, tips and tricks and drop knowledge and help you with the little extra touches that'll make your trip very much more memorable.
Yes.
You guys got any advice for Miss P?
Well, they actually had an Uber app. Victor pulled up an Uber app now. They have like the equivalent of Uber there now, which shocked me. I didn't know that. So
Yeah, but you got to have an account and all that stuff.
oh, you can't. Okay.
You gotta have a license. You gotta have a Cuba license to create the account or whatever. Yeah, I mean, but you could hang on to your most of the guest hosts that I've stayed with has always been very accommodating. Sometimes they'll include breakfast for a small fee for your team. If you ask that, like, hey, you have anyone that can come cook breakfast for us? You can do that for like $5 a person or something like that every day.
I had breakfast.
Yeah, so just hang on to your host. Hang on to your host. They'll always put you in a good spot for tours, and you need a taxi, they'll call somebody up. If you want to exchange money, we had people to come over and the host called someone to exchange that money for us right there in our Airbnb. So that was very convenient, because if you go to Cuba, the best places to exchange, not the bank, because the banks always be crowded, but you call them Casa de Cambia. That means change house. The Casa de Cambias are places where It's not as crowded, but it can be crowded. You can exchange your money there. But this lady calling, I mean, the guy calling the lady over was Clutch. I was like, oh, that is even better. Because you got to get in a taxi and drive around to find one of them little Casa de Cambio. So that helps. And I wouldn't, if you're going in like 6 days, now current Cuba, I wouldn't exchange for a lot of those pesos.
Yeah.
I would probably say $200 worth of pesos. And if you had to exchange some more, do that. But they want the cash now. But with the cash, the greenbacks negotiate. Yeah. Don't take the first, they say $20 to take you from here to Vedado at night. Somebody will do it for 15 or whatever. So
yeah,
so those are my little tips there. All right, we about 25 minutes over. My apologies, people, but we are talking about Cuba, and I can talk all day about Cuba.
Me too.
All right, you trying to hang on to Miss P. Miss P got them information questions. My travel agent is going with the group. He set up all the activities for us. Put the guy's name. What travel group are you going with? I know a few guys that's going. Have some curated trips. I'm because you remember the girl Tiffany. She's been promoting the smack out of hers. Hey, what's her name? The one that was from Orlando. Not Stacy. Gosh, what's her name?
I don't remember. I'm not gonna remember. I don't remember right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she got one as well too. I've been thinking about doing my own curated Cuba trips, but I said I don't know.
I'm not curating no trips because people are drama. People ask me all the time. I don't want to do that. I don't want to deal with. I don't even like group trips are for me are hard unless I know the group really well. Because I'm traveling by myself, so I know what I like. I don't like to compromise on what I like. If I'm paying to go somewhere, I don't want to compromise. No, I want to go to the museum. Y'all want to go to the restaurant. I'll see y'all at the restaurant after I go. I'm gonna get up early and I'm gonna go to the museum and meet y'all at the restaurant. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right. Is it Sandra? Remember Sandra?
Oh yeah, Sandra.
Light skinned, curly hair, Puerto Rican girl.
Yeah.
She has a trip going to Cuba next year. She did one last year. She's actually the one that kind of gave me the idea for the Afro experience with the with Allison.
Okay.
Yeah, she put me on to that because she did it, and I was like, "Yo, what is this right here?" Okay, no, that's not him. Yeah, yeah, that's man. Yeah, it's an experience. And sometimes I see the itineraries and I'd be like, "Dang, they ain't really doing that much," but I'm just being picky or whatever.
Oh, she said they went to Ghana last year. Ghana's on my list.
Yeah,
I need to go there in December.
Yeah.
For my birthday.
Yeah, because most of those trips I see, they may do Vinales, they may do Callejón de Jamel, they may do Santa Marta Beach, a dinner, and take your butt back home or whatever.
Yeah, and that's not a lot.
No, it's not. You could do that in 3 days total.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I bet y'all paid a grip.
I wonder what they.
And I know how much it costs to go to Cuba, so it'll be hard for me because I know how much it costs to travel now.
They'll be paying like $1,300 or so dual occupancy, $1,600 single.
Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely. Cal, are you doing that?
I'm never doing that. I can't pay people for stuff. I'd rather just pay for myself. I just say that.
Yeah, everybody needs some help. You know, depending if you're a beginner or you know you're advanced and you don't need that. But you know, there's a market for it all.
Of course, there's a market for it. That's why they're doing it.
Yeah.
If there wasn't no market, they wouldn't be doing it.
No.
I would be doing it out of the kindness of my heart, and I think some people, Adrian, you might be doing it if it wasn't getting paid, you would still probably be interested in helping people in going to Cuba or anywhere.
I'm gonna get that money. I'm gonna get that money.
Mr. Capitalist.
Not. I mean, for my A1 day ones, nah. I mean, hey, just pay this and put that on that, and we gone. But for people I don't know, yeah, get that money. I mean, I ain't tripping on even I see Cartagena and stuff and all them stuff. Typically, they're all gonna be around 1,300 to 1,600, no flight included. And
but you know they pay more than that.
Huh?
They're paid more than that.
Who paid? Well, yeah, I mean the person that the travelers
are paying more than that. They're paying like double that.
Wow.
Who's paying
double?
Who? The
people who are participating in those tours are paying double what it would cost them to go if they went by themselves. We had this discussion. Me and you had this discussion.
Really?
Me and you had this discussion.
Depending on where you're from in the U.S. and
if you're coming from the United States and you're going to a foreign country on a tour, you're paying double what it would cost you if you paid to go by yourself.
If not more.
If not
That's
more.
What I'm saying. I think it's more.
And I know this for a fact.
Right. Crazy.
Yeah, but all right. We appreciate everyone coming.
You got a video you'll drop, right?
A video? No.
You have a video you have to drop.
Do I have a video I have to drop?
Yes.
In general, or
you got to remind him he's getting older.
What video?
Don't you got a commercial you need to drop?
Oh, I thought I dropped the commercial.
No, you did not.
Oh my goodness.
Now y'all see why I'm here.
Oh, you know what? Oh man.
You showed it to me. That was when you showed it, but that was not live.
You know what? No, that was that TikTok one. That's what I was.
Yes, that was a different video.
About. Golly, I'm supposed to drop this in the middle, but y'all gonna watch it now.
For me, there is nothing better than showcasing my joy. Our friends at Frito-Lay know that joy is bold, vivacious, and contagious. Joy gives life flavor, rhythm, and vibes. And when joy takes flight, it can't be contained. It is robust, more than a smile or a laugh. It's an infectious experience. So here's to all the creators that inspire us with your creativity and passion. Let's keep filling the world with joy. And make sure you look out for the My Joy campaign, powered by Frito-Lay.
All right. That is the Frito-Lay Joy advertisement. I'm about to tell yesterday I didn't play that to the end. But hey, Calvin, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Calvin. It's always a pleasure to have you.
My pleasure.
Yes, and Tiff, any parting words?
Y'all, thank you for a wonderful 2023. Thank you to Adrian for again allowing me to bless y'all ear gates and your eye gates with my beautiful face and my sultry, velvety voice and the knowledge that I drop. I hope that this year brings you much more love, much more joy, and peace and soul grease. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Hey, just keep messing with us in 2024. Keep rocking with us. We have some more stuff to push out, talk about some more remote work, digital nomad work, some more travel. I'll be traveling around somewhere. I'm always somewhere. But with that, I'm gone. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Peace, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.